Father, I went on a cruise with my family last month, and I thought we wouldn't miss Mass since we would have been on the island that Sunday. After we disembarked on the island, I found a church, but Mass was at 6:30 and we had to be back at the ship at 4:15. As a result, we missed Mass. We went to confession the following Saturday before the 4 p.m. Mass. The priest was so upset at us in this confessional, both me and my 15-year-old daughter, that I felt he would have hit us with a stick if he had one. He didn't want to hear any reasoning for missing Mass. We were both shocked, and I was nervous to send my 7-year-old son. It would have been his second confession since his first communion, and I didn't want him to be traumatized to go to confession again. So I let him take communion because I thought it was my fault that he missed Mass anyway. The question at the heart of it is this: did I/we commit another mortal sin? Do we need to go to confession again?
Well, that's a good question. It's useful to put this out there. I'm not sure why the priest in question responded the way he did, but I would say that in her final question, did we commit another mortal sin? If she's referring to missing Mass in that case, I would say that she did not commit a mortal sin. Her intention was to go to Mass, and she made the effort to find a Mass only to discover that it was not possible to attend it. So that's not an intentional omission of a serious duty. That was just an unfortunate circumstance. I think she acknowledged that in the future she should plan better. You know, when a serious Catholic, or when any Catholic is going on a trip, you know, we don't just dispense ourselves from the Sunday obligation. We have to make every reasonable effort still to continue to fulfill our obligation to God and go to Mass. So she could have got online and found that information before she went on the cruise. But under the circumstances, I don't think she committed a mortal sin. And in sparing her young son, you know, a potential trauma in the confessional, that was probably a wise and prudent thing to do. And certainly he didn't commit a mortal sin. The 7-year-old did not commit a mortal sin because he's dependent on his parents to get to Mass. If for some reason they even are negligent about bringing him to Mass, it's still not his fault. So I don't think he even had to go to confession for that. And so I think it was probably wise. And no, I would say they did not commit a mortal sin in the first place, nor a second one in advising or just letting the son go to communion without confession. I think in that case, it was not a bad call.